get the chat up. I only let couple people know that it's going live. I tweeted it, but hopefully people get the notification.
I just got the notification, so that's good.
I haven't got a notification. Doesn't like me.
It's not. It's like all people get them. Hello, Christina.
Hi, Christina.
Oh, Donna.
Hi, Katie.
Oh, good. Katie's here. I was going to message her too. Good.
Yep, she's here. If you see me looking down, at the pad. I just wanted everybody to see my shirt.
Well, Jimmy's here with his popcorn. He's excited that it's about his boy, Corey Feldman.
Woo, woo, Jimmy.
Hello.
Hi, Deidre.
D
Money. Oh, yeah, let's see.
I love your shirt, Kim.
Thank you. That's what I was hoping everybody would notice was my shirt.
Oh, you should have told me. I could have worn mine.
Oh. Well, you're not showing your video. You can walk with it, can't you, to get it on?
No, it's I don't want to go on camera right now.
Okay.
I'll share the link too.
I'm going to turn my video off so I can...
I guess I should maybe tell more people that I'm live. I guess not everybody's getting the whiplash. Yay. How's everybody doing today? Not sure if I can stomach Corey Feldman. Join the club.
Can't say we blame you.
No.
Okay, you guys can talk for a minute.
I can see you. Don't get a loose. I happen to be watching an analysis of Chris Watts' Mistress. Right on. Good thing you were online. Hey, Sky. I can see you, Christina. You asked if anyone can see you. I can see you.
Okay.
Hi, Jamie said
Jamie. Hi, Sky. That's weird that Katie doesn't get notifications.
That is weird. I got one today. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. No?
No, I didn't get one.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's weird. YouTube's messed up. As Corey Feldman would say, he's inside of YouTube, manipulating it so he can't broadcast to the world.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like only half the people are getting notifications now.
He actually tried to tell us that about Bobby's videos, and that's why he wanted us to flag them, was because somebody had attached Bobby's links to his Corbin Nash trailer, and he was very upset about that. So.
Oh no, he said Bobby had somebody working at YouTube.
Yeah, he did. That's what I mean. That's why I made the comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't explain that right. Thank you.
That's okay.
He's so crazy. Well, I don't know if anybody else is gonna trickle in. Hopefully people will spread the word and let others know we're live. But go ahead, girls. You guys wanted to do this, so Kim or Stacy, I'll give you guys the floor.
All right. So basically, we just wanted to talk to everybody today for a couple of reasons. Obviously, about our little tiny dancer. So basically, so the documentary part 1 is out. I've been sharing the link on. Yes, that's our documentary, not Corey Feldman's documentary, to clarify. We did have a poll back on Twitter not long ago saying whose was going to come out first, and I guess we were right. You guys were right. So ours came out first. It's part 1. Basically, it addresses a lot of the things that were going on, while the Truth campaign was running, and a little bit after, and a little bit of background about the two Coreys. So I am pleased with how it turned out.
It was
This
a
is
good
the
job.
first. Thank you. This is the first of I don't know how many. My plan was to do originally one, and then that was supposed to be a counter documentary, which is still going to come out, but obviously his documentary isn't out. And, you know, once I started gathering material and researching everything, I realized that, like, in order to explain this in a way that, like, my demographic audience, the way I looked at this is I wanted to explain this to somebody who either only heard Corey Feldman's side of the story, or B, really didn't know much about it. So kind of like the average person that just kind of stumbled upon this. Once I started going through material and researching, I realized how much content there really was. And this is just a very, very brief, like, I mean, I could have went on for 2 hours, but my goal for part one was to have it under 1 hour, and it's like 59 minutes and 26 seconds. So I don't think I could do that again if I tried. So, if you haven't checked it out, it is on my channel, Kim Rocks. So please check it out, and your feedback would be appreciated. Unless you're Feld fam, and I already know you're not going to appreciate it. So, but it is done as objectively as I can. Just arguing, not even arguing, just you know, in his own words, challenging his words. So
yeah,
that's, you know, I would appreciate it if everybody could check it out and share the link around. And let's get it back to Corey Feldman where it belongs.
Yeah,
for sure.
And for a first time effort as well, Kim. I mean, it's 2 months' work, and it's really good. It is really good.
It did take 2 months to produce this, so
yeah,
you know, it's been a long time coming. It's been in my head for many, many months, and I had a clear vision of what I wanted. And then, you know, like I said, when I actually started putting it together and realized how much there is in terms of content, I don't know how many this is going to turn into, but I'm committed to seeing it through until I feel it's the end.
Well, there was even interviews in there that I hadn't seen before. I was shocked when I watched it, because it was stuff
Believe
that
it
I
or
hadn't
not,
seen.
there was actually content that I hadn't seen before either. So it was very interesting. And I hope if things work out, we're still trying to finalize some details and stuff. But if things work out the way that we had hoped, there's going to be more content available that people haven't seen before. But I don't want to commit to that just in case, because I don't have a final commitment from a couple people I'm waiting on. So, and you know me, I don't like to promise things unless I can back it up. So we are working on trying to get a couple of people to come forward and do some interviews that haven't been talked to before. And it would be an interesting perspective because they have absolutely nothing to do with this scenario. It's in a professional capacity. So it would be interesting if we can get them. But yeah, so that's my update on the documentary. I'm glad you've watched it 2 times, Katie. That's awesome. That makes me happy. I'm glad. Thank you.
That is nice.
Yeah. So,
and that is true. He could have done one in 2 years quite easily. You're right, Katie, there.
What's that? Sorry, I didn't see that.
Katie says, if this only took 2 months, then surely you could have done one in 2 years.
Yeah. Well, and that's the reason why I actually put it out there that it's taken only 2 months. Now, is my documentary going to be in comparison to his? Absolutely not. Like, I mean, I am not a professional. I do not claim to be a professional, but you know, you're right. It doesn't take how many years?
Like, no, it doesn't.
He's been talking about this since October 2017. So we're talking a year and a half, and we've yet to see even a trailer for this thing.
Can I also point out, like, he's had 2 years and over $317,000 to do this, and we done it in 2 months with a camera phone.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. All of this was done. Believe it or not, all of that was done on a Samsung 9. So those are if you're really committed and truly want to put out your message like he claimed, and it's not for money, then it can be done. And you don't need $317,000 to do it either. So
no, you don't.
I'd just like to put that out there. But
well, I won't name names, but when you're flying people in from across the country that he's never met before to be in his documentary about a subject or a person that has nothing to do with pedophiles, you know, it can get a little costly, I guess.
Yep.
So there was a tweet, I believe it was today or yesterday, that he put out about what is it, Christophe St. John, and now he's claiming, that was a lifelong friend of his, and that this couldn't have been because of natural causes, and he's trying to allude to the fact that this may or may not have had something to do with his documentary. Do not let his bullshit baffle you, because by no means is that in any way accurate. I do not know the details of his death. Obviously, you're going to have to wait for an autopsy. But Corey Feldman, there you go again, folks, is he's making claims that he just simply can't back up. And nobody for that matter even knew. Nobody even knew the guy was in his documentary.
Exactly.
So there you go. There you
go. Heather Dunn herself commented and said, "Oh, I didn't know he was in it."
There you go. She fell down. So if she didn't know, how does he expect anyone else to know? And certainly, the infamous Wolfpack. So he can take those claims and shove them right up his ass where it belongs. Because there's absolutely no truth or merit to that whatsoever. He's just, what I feel he's doing is trying to create attention and a little bit of buzz about his documentary. So I'm thinking it might be getting ready to come out soon. That's what I think.
Well, he contradicts himself, though, because when he was at Sundance, he just said he had what word did he use? A rough draft. Yeah. And now he's like, oh, it's done. And, there was an interview that was posted yesterday, was that, about where he talked about the R. Kelly documentary. But, and then now he's saying, oh, it's done. And, I swear, Corey Feldman, anybody that he knows, and I tweeted this earlier, anybody that he knows that has passed, he always has to turn that death into how well he knew them or about something with him and blah, blah, blah. I mean, every single time.
Yep. It's disrespectful. And, even though I didn't know Christophe St. John, and there's a chance that nobody will ever hear it, my condolences to the family, regardless of circumstances. I don't mean to sound insensitive when I talk about it. My point is, there you have it again, is that Corey's jumping in there and making it about him when it should be celebrating the guy's life. I am sorry for the family.
And he says he was so close to him and his family, but then he's trying to insinuate that he could have been hurt or murdered or he's deceased now because he was in his documentary. Why would you even put something out like that in the universe? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's so absurd. And it's like, you want to go on about how he was such a good father and such a good man. Well, if you were such good friends with him, maybe you should have taken notes on how to be a good man and a good father from him.
Well, he did Corey Haim, let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly what he did to Corey Haim. There's going to be some interesting information coming forward about that too, and I know I briefly touched on it in the documentary. Corey, with everybody, like Susie said, with any person that passes away, whether he knew them on a personal level or if he didn't, all of a sudden he becomes their best friend. And I'm not trying to take away from the guy dying, because I do feel bad anytime someone dies. And like I said, I don't mean to sound insensitive. It's just, it baffles me how he can turn everything into him all of the time.
Well, it's classic Corey, okay? Because he used the statute of limitations being sorted out in New York as a platform to say the documentary's out any day now. So that was that.
Right. Yeah. And he's also jumped that bandwagon too. He came on to, there's been people that have been fighting in the U.S. Senate for 13 and 15 years. And he jumped on in the last part of the year of 2017, early 2018. Yep. And now all of a sudden he's claiming credit for that as well. He went to the Senate and lied. He went to the Senate and lied about Corey Haim's death. Don't forget that, people. And I'm not sure that isn't actually illegal to do in the U.S. Senate. Go and lie. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, I mean, it is politics.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's illegal, but it's certainly immorally wrong. So there's that fact. But it's a good point that you mentioned earlier, Susie, about the R. Kelly documentary, because I've been dying to talk about this guy. I've been dying to. And I don't know about any of you guys, but do you guys notice the similarities with the cult-like mentality with, I feel like I don't know for sure, but just my impression of watching the R. Kelly documentary, I just seen a lot of similarities. Women coming forward after years, videotapes, like just all kinds of absurd shit that you hear. And, I see too many similarities between R. Kelly and Corey.
Oh, there are a few. Yeah.
There were, and I mentioned that when I first saw the documentary, that there were a lot of similarities, and I wish I would have made a list. And one of the main ones that stuck out was like controlling how the women eat and stuff like that, and controlling their food. And
yes, they have to knock to get out of room. Like, I watched the documentary for the first time, and I didn't take any notes. I just watched it because I wanted to see what was said. And then I watched it again and I started taking notes, which by the way, I don't have in front of me. So all of this is, off the top of my head. But like the food, which reminds me of the fruit diet, the strict vegan diet that he has the girls on. If you're gonna go by the celebrity wife swap episode, I mean, those types of things, making them work out, making them stick to a strict diet, controlling who they talk to, what they say. He was even doing that with his cell fam, for frig's sakes. Like, he was telling us his cell fam what to say, when to say it, how to say it. Make sure you send this to me for my approval. And there was so many things that I noticed, and it was scary. And the other scary part about it is R. Kelly, this stuff's been going on for over 20 years with this guy.
30 years.
Like, how is it just getting the attention it deserves now?
Yeah. It's it's crazy.
Like,
and I know sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I heard from somebody that lived with him, well, obviously a former Angel, that like when they're at home, if Darcy or Courtney want to send a text or to a family member or a friend, he wants to see it first. He has to okay it with them before sending texts and all that. He controls all that. I'm like, wow, unreal.
Well, and didn't Darcy make a video? I believe it was during the Truth campaign that was only up for, I don't even want to say, it wasn't even up for 24 hours. It was pulled down. So obviously there was something said in that particular video that he didn't approve of or like, and that's why it was pulled down. And it was never posted.
With that, I know what it was. People were saying that in the video, you could see she looked terrified, and you could see from beginning to end, she was reading from cue cards.
Oh.
And everyone picked up on it, and literally according to her, it vanished.
Well, it's funny to me that, it vanished. So it's the people working inside YouTube again that made it vanish. One of the other things that I noticed is it's funny that you say that, it looked like she was reading from cue cards. I remember Courtney being in a video with him, and she couldn't even fake cry, okay? Like, her acting was terrible, and you could tell she was reading from cue cards. So why was it okay? You know the reason why it was okay? Because Corey was standing right beside her, monitoring her every single word that she said. And if she said something he didn't approve of, he cut her off. Exactly. He does what Corey does best. So it's just, there's more women coming forward. I seen an episode of Dr. Oz, I want to say Friday of last week, about another girl that's just recently come forward, and that he's going to be going to court again on some allegations that have just come forward. He's passed on herpes. This is R. Kelly we're talking about now. He's passed on herpes to a second woman who I believe is only 19. Now, I don't know how old she was at the time that this occurred, but so he might end up going back to court because now Gloria Allred, who's a famous lawyer and usually represents the stars, is representing, I believe, these two women regarding the R. Kelly thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a story about R. Kelly that is Sky in here. Sky told me about it, that R. Kelly paid a homeless woman $5,000 to give him oral sex. And he was like, oh, I'm helping you out. And he actually gave her, was it herpes of the mouth? In the mouth?
Yeah.
Or...
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow. So would that be a third case? Or was that the first girl that claimed she had it from him?
No, this is somebody else. This is a new person.
Oh, wow.
And let's not even mention Aaliyah, poor girl. She met him at 12, was married and pregnant by 15.
right?
Disgusting.
And the reason why, when that went through the courts, the reason, okay, first of all, R. Kelly's defense team postponed. So they're supposed to be due process, which means they're not supposed to. I don't know how this is even legal, because in Canada, it would actually have been dismissed because of this. You're not allowed to put off or prolong a court case to benefit the defense. It has to be for the victim or agreed upon between the lawyers. He put it off for 6 years, so when the girl took the stand, instead of being a 14-year-old girl that the jury could sympathize with and see, he waited until she was 20 years old. So then her parents said that it wasn't her. The father said it was her, the mother said it wasn't, and the aunt also said that it was her in the video, the 14-year-old girl in the video. Now, the reason why the family denied it is because I guess there was money exchanged in that transaction, which would have been illegal.
The father was credited on an album of R. Kelly's.
Right. So it would have come back to hit the daughter in the ass. So I kind of understand. But he offered one woman, Sparkle, who was in the documentary, he offered her $100,000 to not speak up against him, and she denied that. She denied taking that.
When the marriage was annulled, she was paid $100 not to press charges. $100? Yeah.
$100.
Yep, she was 15.
That won't even buy you a meal at the keg, okay? $100.
This is a girl
that has changed forever because of it.
Well, she's dead now, but
wait, what? She's dead?
Aaliyah is, yeah.
What did she die of?
In a plane
airplane crash.
I did not know that.
You didn't know his first wife, the young girl?
No, I did not know she died.
Yeah, it's Aaliyah. She was the actress in the movie Queen of the Damned.
Yeah, I knew like the girl in the movie, but I didn't know she died. Like the name, I knew the name, but oh my god.
She was like 22, 20. How old was she? She was young.
Yeah, she was really young.
In 2001.
She met him when she was 12. By the time she was 15, she was pregnant and married him. It was annulled 3 months later, and he paid her $100 not to press charges.
And sorry, why did she die again? What did you say she died of?
A plane crash. Her and her team were leaving. They had just filmed a music video, and they were leaving the Bahamas, and they say the plane was overweight, but then like the pilot didn't have his pilot license, like he had lied about his credentials.
Right.
So, but they said it was overweight with all the security guys in there and the luggage and everything, and so it took off and then within minutes crashed.
Yeah,
that's so sad. That poor girl, the trauma that she went through in her young life, like that's very sad and very tragic. I'm sad to hear that. Like, I did not know that. Wow. See, so you learn new things as you go. I did not know that, but no, seriously, I had no idea. And then, like, I was just, I'm on my second or third time of watching the documentary because it's just like each time I get something new from it, and it's unbelievable. Like, it's just
in the documentary, his old personal assistant admitted to forging the documents so he could marry Aaliyah and make her 18.
I remember that, and it's ignorant, and he said he regrets doing that. The part that I found really upsetting is, okay, remember the two brothers were in it. Remember one was in jail, and I believe the other one that was not in jail was the younger brother. So R. Kelly offers the younger brother $100,000 and his own record label to testify against him, because remember when the video came out of the underage girl, he tried to get his brother to take the blame. He tried to say it was his brother. His brother said, "No way, screw you, I'm not doing this." The brother in jail, they pan to the brother in jail, and he's like, "Are you crazy?" He's like, "I would have," like, he didn't say I would have taken it, but he was like, "You could have had your whole life set, $100,000 and a record label, and you do the right thing." So more or less saying he would have taken the money. So no wonder why he's sitting in a jail cell right now for the interview.
And then that brother that's in jail was like, "Oh, I like older women. It's a preference. What's wrong with him liking younger women? It's not younger women, it's children. That's the difference."
Yeah. And that's what's wrong with it, because it's freaking illegal It is illegal. And what is a man of 51 years old doing? I don't even care. Even, okay, what is the age from in each area? Here, I believe it's 16, but I could be wrong.
It's
I'm
16
not
here.
sure.
But 16 here.
That's 35 years difference. That's an entire lifetime of a person. What in the world would you possibly see with somebody with 35 years different age? Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would like to see. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, somebody said it in the chat, like the difference between him and Feldman is just that Feldman makes sure that they're at least 18.
Yeah.
And then they can come.
I made the same comment on Twitter, and I agree with that 100%. But there were tweets floating around saying to one girl who I believe was 15, said, you know, when you're 18, you're going to look good in your skivvies. But yes, he does make sure they're at least of age of consent. I will give him that. That's why I'm trying to word it very carefully. I'm not saying that Corey Feldman is R. Kelly. There are distinct differences, and I will give him credit that, yes, he does make sure they're over 18. But like, I was very specific in saying the cult-like mentality, the strict diets, the controlling behavior, those sort of similarities. That's what I'm, you know what I mean? Those are the similarities.
Oh my God.
Yes, thank you, Susie. What?
His brother also admitted Arcady raped and impregnated his 14-year-old cousin.
Oh, wow.
He admitted that R. Kelly raped his 14. I didn't either. Wow.
Wow.
That's funny. So yeah, like I said, you know, if you haven't had a chance to check out the documentary that we've put out, there's still some more exciting things coming. Unfortunately, these things do take time, but I just wanted to prove a point and show that it doesn't take a year and a half to produce absolutely nothing. You know. And I'm not even a professional with his type of experience in the industry, and I was able to put something together. So why can't he? And why is the only time he talks about his documentary is when he's trying to promote it in some way, which makes me believe that there is a chance it could be coming out soon, or maybe not. But if he's talking about it,
he's obviously trying to do it on the biggest scale he can possibly do on it to try to profit from it and all that.
Right.
So, I mean, it's, you know, who knows how long it'll be, because he's not going to accept it unless he's going to make money off of it. You know, he's not doing it for the right reasons. We all know that.
That's right.
So, you know.
And, you know, he was just recently at Sundance again. In the documentary, I point out the fact that he was supposed to direct, produce, and self-distribute the movie, said in his own exact words. And now all of a sudden, he's at Sundance looking for a distributor. So again, there's another inconsistency in his never-ending list of bullshit.
Right, and if it was about saving children and exposing these pedophiles, then just put it out there. Put it on your YouTube channel. Put it on Vimeo. Put it, you know, wherever.
Exactly. But we know that it's all about the money for him. So exactly how many children's lives has he saved since October of 2017 when he started pushing for this truth campaign? None that I could think of.
Can I point out that he said in a recent interview that his intention is to keep pushing the envelope until this person reveals themselves. So, in my opinion, he's not naming anybody in this documentary. He said that himself.
Well, I think he's definitely. I think we could say he's going to name Charlie Sheen. I mean, there's no question about it. I only got to watch like the first 15 minutes of the doc so far, Kim, because I was listening to the other thing. But I did see, and I didn't know that interview with the news guy where he did say, oh, it happened on a set and it's 12 years old. It's like, okay, you know, just name it. We all know what's going to be in it. It's in the restraining order. You know, it's in this. And people that he's flown out to LA to talk about the documentary. We know what was discussed then. And it's just like, come on, just come out with it already.
Yeah. If it isn't common knowledge, his Feld fam is going to be in the documentary. So did people who donated to his campaign, myself included, I was not aware that this was going. First, it was supposed to be a feature film. And then when he realized that that wasn't going to happen, he had to cover his ass. So now it's a documentary. And it became a documentary and about fulfilling these stupid fucking perks that nobody even received. I didn't receive it, and I donated 4 times. So that's what it became about. And again, he named the 3 names on Dr. Oz that he named, but he says there's 6. So what has he done since he went on? He did more on Dr. Oz than he's done on his own in the last year. And he didn't even name him.
I was just going to say, yeah, Dr. Oz named him, and Dr. Oz is the one who pushed it.
That's right. Yeah. And if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have even gotten that much information out of him. So it's all about the buck with him. Like, it's all about himself. It's about promoting himself and his brand. I believe, like I said before, and I'll say it again, I believe all of this is done as a means of distraction. I think that his intention was from the beginning was to either create a reality show or something to that effect. And I feel like that's what he's laying the groundwork for. I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. But based on what I've seen so far in the last year and a half, this is what I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know of 2 people that were in his documentary for sure. Another one claimed this weekend that she was in it. But out of the 2 that I know for sure, I know that one's already asked, "Hey, man, I don't want to be in it anymore. Never mind." And they said, "Oh, sorry, we own the footage." So, I mean, he can't. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to name names. I don't even want to go into that.
As well, Susie. I've heard that as well, and I won't name names either.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll protect them. But, it's unfortunate for those people that were in it under what they, and I understand what it's like to have a change of heart. I supported the guy too. Some people leave comments on my channels and on my videos or on Twitter, and they don't understand my dislike for the guy. Well, there's been a lot of reasons that have built up. It wasn't like I just woke up one day and was like, you know what, I'm going to decide to hate on Corey Feldman today. It was because of a lot of things, not even what he did to me personally, making a video about me, saying horrible things about me. It's not even about that. It's that I feel like as a person who donated for him, who created the petition for him, who made videos for him, as a fan, as a supporter, I felt abused and used by him.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I dislike the guy. It's because of his own lies.
And now you actually listen to interviews and listen to the Angels and listened, you've done more research on it, and never mind the off the record stuff that you guys have come to find out and everything. I mean, it's a lot. And, it's another thing talking about R. Kelly. And I know I mentioned this before, but I think it's important to talk about again. It's like, if you are going to believe the victims of R. Kelly and those girls and what they went through, I don't understand how you cannot believe all these people, these girls, including 2 males that came forward that, were around Feldman. And how can you believe the R. Kelly victims, but not the victims of Feldman?
Great point. Great point. You can't pick and choose which victims to believe and which to not believe just because you may or may not idolize the guy. Right. I know what it's like to think he's the actor you see on TV. I know what it's like to be fooled by him and listen to him. And that's why I'm just now coming across interviews that I have never seen before, because like Susie said, I am doing research that I never did before. Me too. Even with a different eye now, I'm not even doing it as because I'm opposed to him. I'm doing it because I'm trying to make documentaries and trying to do it from an objective standpoint. So I'm trying to get both sides of it. So, and Susie, you had a good case too, where, he makes all these claims about the wolf pack and saying that we're trying to kill him and we've had threats and this and that. He even went on an interview in Australia saying that he had attempts, that he was on a hit list, which I've never heard before.
Someone took out a contract in his life.
Susie, who had a temporary restraining order, she was named in them. She actually went to court on her own because she wasn't served, because she wanted to get to the bottom of this after having the CPS at her house because of the Feldman.
Yep, and actually, I talked to what do you call him? Reporter, I guess. Yeah.
Right.
Journalist about all that
Yep.
yesterday. So, and they're looking into the thing and trying to get the report and everything. So there may be a lot more coming on that fact too.
And I would like to see that happen, and I hope that they do persist on him. And another interesting thought that just came to my head is, again, saying that Corey Feldman was just recently at Sundance. I haven't seen him make any public statements about MJ until he was at Sundance. Did you guys see that video?
I'm glad you brought that up, because that was something else. Going back to what the comment I made about the R. Kelly victims and the angels. There's another thing, what he said about the Michael Jackson documentary. He was trying to say, oh, well, after all these years, now they're coming out with this and making these claims. No, it's not after all these years. The guy went to court because people accused him of this. And he's like, oh, that's not the guy I knew. And, kind of saying that he didn't believe it. And it's like, okay, but then, a week later, now you're saying about the R. Kelly victims. Again, he's picking and choosing what victims he wants to believe, whatever fits his agenda. And I was told a story about a very close friend of Feldman's. When 9/11 happened, I think this is in his book too. I never read it, but of course it was different. He was in New York with Michael Jackson and his people, and Feldman was supposed to be at a hotel at the place. They had to get out of there real quick. They took a bus or whatever they took to, leave there as soon as they could. And they were trying to find Feldman. Of course, he wasn't where he was supposed to be. He was in another hotel room with a woman partying. And so they waited as long as they could. He wasn't there, so they had to take off. Well, then, Feldman calls them and says, you guys have to come get me. You have to get me out of here. And they're like, we're sorry. We can't turn around. We waited, blah, blah, blah. And he said to, I believe it was Michael Jackson's brother, around and come get me, that I'm going to say that Michael Jackson molested me. He blackmailed him.
Wow.
And the guy said, Corey, that's completely out of line. You know how messed up that is, blah, 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 blah. And, they hung up, and they didn't go turn around and get him, but he blackmailed them, and he tried, to play that card. So...
Wow.
Oh my God. He's disgusting.
Well, by him making that comment, he has now alienated himself from all of the MJ fans, and they're in a big uproar. And at the same time that the Michael Jackson family boycott Sundance, here's Corey Feldman with his, cell phone in hand, showing them his rough copy of his documentary, promoting himself. So there you have it again. All about him.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Corey Feldman himself was charged with sexual battery. Just because he was cleared doesn't mean he didn't do it.
No. He was not charged. He was not charged. It was allegedly, there was allegations towards him which have been cleared.
Wait, who are you talking?
He said at one point that he was actually charged.
Wait, who are you talking about? Kim Feldman?
Who, Corey?
Yeah, Feldman. Yeah.
I don't think he was ever charged. Wait, Kim, who are you talking about? Sorry.
He wasn't charged. There was allegations.
Right. There was a police report.
We're talking about Feldman, and there were allegations in 20. Yes, that's correct. And he has been cleared, but he was never charged. Don't say he was charged, or we're going to get a lawsuit.
And
no, there was allegations.
I'm just saying what I thought I read.
Oh wait, you're both talking at once. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought I read that he was charged recently.
Go ahead.
Stacey, you thought Feldman was charged?
Yeah, I thought I read it recently when I was doing research.
Oh no, I don't think so. There was a police report made, and then he cleared is a nice word, a nice way to put it, Kim. I look at it more, there just wasn't enough evidence to prove it, considering the victim herself wasn't going to come forward. So
that's right. Produce charges, in other words, but yeah, definitely not charged. So stay back, Corey Feldman lawyers, because we did not say that. We corrected ourselves.
He can't even get his lawyer to go to court for a restraining order. Come on.
That was another point that I made in the documentary that he was talking about the restraining orders. And there was a clip that he was outside of the courthouse the one time that he did appear with his lawyer. And he was talking about Judy Haim, and he was saying about how she orchestrated this group of 30 to 40 people that call themselves the Wolf Pack, and that she knew about Corey Haim's abuse and tried to cover it up. Well, how did she cover it up when she went on Dr. Oz and named Dominic Brasha as the frickin' abuser? So how is that covering it up, you douchebag Corey Feldman?
Yeah.
Pissed me off. So I put that clip in the documentary for everyone to look at because, you know, I'm sure they seen it at the time. It was on The Blast, his favorite news outlet, you know, as classy as they are. And basically he used that as an opportunity to talk about himself. So again, he was so in fear of his life that he did not show up to court and follow through with the temporary restraining order. So there you go. There's the facts. He did not show up. He went to court once when nobody was there, got remanded, and that's the only reason why he went. When he knew that Susie and Jackie were going, he did not show up.
Well, and let's talk about what I haven't even talked to you about this, Kim, because Bobby told me, but didn't you just realize recently that he didn't put his address on the restraining order? He like made a fake address.
Yeah, was it the lawyer's address or was it Susie's, his ex-wife's address?
I don't know. I said to Bobby, I go, well, was it his lawyer's address? And he said that you guys like Google mapped it, and it was like something random.
I paid for them. I paid for a background check.
Yeah. So what I didn't tell you, Stacey, was that somebody else looked into it as well, and it turns out that it was in fact his lawyer's phone number and his lawyer's address.
But on the other part, there was an address listed that was his ex-wife's address.
That's what I can't understand because it's conflicting, but you paid for it, so that must be a valid search.
Well, see, and that's ridiculous too, because they're going to say, let's say, you know, I got granted against me. They're going to say, okay, Suzanne, you can't be within 500 feet of this address. And it would be the address you put on the restraining order. So if you're showing your fear of your life, you want to make sure that address is correct. So
good freaking point. Very good point. So he's giving fictitious information in a legal document. Basically. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer or a police officer, and I hope that there's one listening here. But are you guys hearing enough inconsistencies from this guy saying things that are even accurate? And another fact that, you know, I realized, and it really stuck out to me as I was doing research for the documentary, is has anybody else noticed how many times that Corey Haim's age has changed when his abuse occurred?
Oh, yeah.
It's gone from 12 to 13 to 14 and a half in Corey Haim's own words on the two Coreys. So I believe Corey Haim.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to go to the video on the phone so I can chat without screwing up my computer screen.
Yep,
sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, he's always changed the age of that and everything all the time.
That makes a difference because I don't believe they even knew each other when Corey Haim was 12. Now, I could be mistaken about that, but I don't believe so. I believe they were still living in Toronto at the time.
Well, didn't Corey Haim turn 14 on the set of Lucas?
I was under the impression that he was, but I could be wrong. But I think he was,
I believe so also.
All of these things are fresh in my mind again because I've been researching so much and really analyzing it and looking at it with different eyes than even before. And it's just, that's the reason why I wanted to do this live today, was because all of these things, like, they've really pissed me off again. Like, because a lot of this stuff I started to, like, either didn't know or B started to block out. So when I was going through all this again, man, I'm surprised I wasn't the one with the high blood pressure, Susie.
I picked up on another thing. At the Senate steps, he said, 30 years ago when I first told the police that my best friend was raped.
Right.
I thought in the 93 tape, he only mentioned stone abusers.
Right.
Yeah. He has so many inconsistencies. You guys could fill up that website with thousands of them. I mean, it's constant with him. And that was one of the things that like drove me nuts when, you know, a year ago at this time, or, you know, a year and a half ago, like when you guys were supporting him and other people, and it was like, oh my gosh, like, how can you guys not see these inconsistencies? Like, he's constantly has a different story. And, you know, so many people say the same thing about him. Here's the other thing. So many people that have worked with them, that have met him on a personal level, random people on social media, all have very similar stories about the man. And they're not positive. Okay. And there's not anybody that he's worked with that has said, oh yeah, well, you know, Corey's a good guy. People need to listen to him. You know, and the same thing with Haim. There's not anybody that worked with Haim that is saying, oh yeah, you know,
he was a bad person.
Haim told all of the closest people to him, family, friends, girlfriends, who his abuser was, but yet he told Corey Feldman a different story. One person, and it's like, and why nobody else that worked with Haim has, you know, come forward to say, oh yeah, what Feldman's saying about Judy is right. I mean, there's nobody that backs him up.
Absolutely.
No, there's not.
And I encourage people when his documentary comes out to use two things. Use common sense, and it comes down to credibility. And you're going to see some things upcoming within the next year that are going to challenge both of those things.
Yeah. And remember, Google's your friend. It's free to use. Just do some research.
Hey, Stace, you know what? One time we were those people. At one time, you know, we were Feld fam. We thought that he was telling the truth, but I was a blind follower, and I can honestly say that now, because I have not seen half of the stuff, half of the material that I've seen lately, I have not seen before. I still have yet to go through all of Bobby's videos, and I'm still working on them. But here's another interesting fact. Is I watched the video a couple nights back of Bobby's video where he actually named his followers, his subs on YouTube, the Wolfpack. Okay. I giggled. I heard about it before. I laughed about it, and I thought it was funny. In the same video, he showed a clip of Corey Feldman's Twitter page. And at this time last year, he had 157,000 followers. He now has 151,000. Now, some people, 6,000 might not be a lot, but I'm pretty sure if you add up the three of ours combined followers, we still don't equal 6,000 followers. So that is a substantial amount of people that no longer support the man.
I think when he started his campaign, when I first tweeted at him that first day and reminded him of who I was and what a piece of shit he is, I want to say he was at like 250,000 followers.
Well, then he's lost a lot more than
his campaign.
Then he's lost a lot more than 6,000, because there was a video clip that I had seen where he said in the last week alone, his Twitter went up 30,000 followers. And I thought, well, I guess we're not counting all the ones that you've been losing, because you've lost a lot of support, Corey, and you know it.
Oh, you know, for sure.
Even his own Feld fan, they're silent these days. No one speaks up for him.
No, they're blind followers.
Really?
I bet you any money, and I can honestly say that I was this person, so I understand, and that's why I don't personally hold it against them. They think he is the person that they used to watch on the TV, in the videos, in the movies. They think he's that idol that they've put on a pedestal. Little do they realize that it is possible for a famous person to be dishonest, for a famous person to be shady, to scam people. Now, did he start these campaigns with the intention to scam? Who knows? The only one that can really answer that is Corey. But I'm saying in the last year, I've opened my eyes, you know, and I can only hope that others do the same.
Well, I know when, from what Mara told me, and I can't remember if she said it in her interview or not, but she had said when they were somewhere in Nevada on tour and the Harvey Weinstein thing broke. And he had said that he wanted to come forward, and now was the time for him to speak and to do a GoFundMe to raise money to do a movie, but that, you know, it was going to be very risky and people would try to kill them. And the girls, Mara included, were like scared because he's saying that people are going to try to come kill them. And they were like, well, that makes us uncomfortable. And Feldman didn't want to hear about it. Or, you know, I do. Yeah. And then they went to talk to Phil Shapiro about it, his manager. And then I think he brought in Corey, and either Phil or Corey, I can't remember exactly. I have it in messages. I could go back and look. But either Phil or Corey said, well, you're not at a risk because you're not a Hollywood name. But then Corey was like, well, think how much publicity it would give us on tour and this, that, and the other. And they were like, we don't care. So then he put it to bed. And then they continued on, their tour. And it was weeks later. And then the arrest in Louisiana happened. Oh, shoot, which I think Darcy had court. I meant to call today. Anyways, so then the thing happened in Louisiana. They were, barely living dollar. They were living dollar to dollar as it was, and he wasn't paying the girls. And then, Mara left the tour, and then, he did I think another girl left the next day. And then all of a sudden, okay, now I'm starting this campaign. Well, yeah, 2 of your band members just bailed because you're not paying them. And now you can't continue your tour. So, yeah, okay, let's do that now.
Yeah.
So, I did mean to call that courthouse today. Darn it. I swear her court date was February. Oh, I can't remember. Do you guys remember?
I'm sure you said first.
Oh, I tweeted it. Well, the first was Friday. Yeah, Friday. The second was Saturday. I know I tweeted it the last time I called. Maybe I'll try to go back and look. Does anybody remember when the last court date was? Was it in December?
It was in November, I think, end of November. She had to go back for pre-trial on January 26th, I think you said. Possibly, or 25th. And the trial started on the 1st.
Yeah, I should have called. I'll call tomorrow. It's too late to call now. But I will for sure.
Let me know what they say. Because I want to follow up on that.
Yeah, I'm very curious on what happened with that. That's just another thing that he, spent money on. Courtney, they dropped her charges for whatever reason. We don't know. But it's still, I'm sure, cost them a lot of money. When I went to court, Jackie had told me that the other girl that was on the bus that got charges in there, it had already cost her like over $10,000 already.
Oh my God.
For her court thing, yeah. So imagine what it cost them.
Yeah, he kept having to continue, didn't he?
Yep. Yep, for sure.
So that makes you wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know. I'll have to look later. I'm trying to see when I tweeted that, but I can't find it.
I'll have a look too and see if I can find her in a bit. If I do, I'll send it to you.
Yeah. I would like to go over the restraining order. I know I did that one video. Was it the day I left court or shortly after that where I read the restraining order? And that's like when I first started doing videos, and it's on private. I still have it, but I didn't make it public because I was like smoking in it and stuff. But I don't know if I talked about other stuff before or after I went over the restraining order, but I think we should do that one time too, because it is. I mean, that was, and I know after that, after he didn't show up to court, and I know because I received from like Feldman members that messaged me, and they were like, you know what, like, I'm done with him. I'm not going to come over to, your side, so to speak, and bash him. But, I am just done with the situation and him. And I'm just, bowing out basically quietly. And that, I know it pissed off a lot of people that supported him that he didn't go to that court date. And, because everyone knew, everybody knew I was going, And let's not forget that at my court date, Jackie and Shannon's restraining order were dropped previously. Because the only court date he went to was the one that Margot didn't go to. And Margot and Bobby had been served. So Margot's got automatically granted because she didn't go. He could have got Bobby's granted that day also because Bobby had been served. But for whatever reason, Bobby and mine got continued to another court date, but Jackie and Shannon's were dropped. It's like,
yeah, I can remember.
Yeah, well, why? And then so he had the judge continue mine and Bobby's on purpose. So that's why I was like, oh, he's definitely going to show up because, otherwise he would have just said drop it with Jackie and Shannon's. But then I think maybe I shouldn't have been, now looking back, maybe I shouldn't have been so vocal about me going, because then maybe he would have showed up, assuming that no one else was going to show up. But whatever, it is what it is. But yeah, everybody knew how vocal I was about going and that I was way overly prepared for that court date. I mean, I was obsessive about it. And God bless my husband who helped me get all that stuff sorted out and together. But I mean, that really pissed off a lot of people. Like, what the hell, You dragged this on for so long and you've made these claims and, you went to the press and said that the wolf pack, quote unquote, us, tried to stab you with the syringe and, your life's in danger. And then you can't even go to a court date. Why? Because it was Halloween weekend and you wanted to go out partying and getting fucked up the whole weekend?
Yeah, he said that in a message to me, didn't he? To Melissa, that he was out all weekend partying.
Yeah.
Kim said she got booted off.
Oh, I wasn't even looking at my screen. Let me send her another invite. All right, Stacey, you talk while I type this out.
Okay.
So, I mean, should we ask does anybody have any questions or anything else they want us to discuss?
That'd be good to know.
Or point to bring up. Okay.
Jimmy's funny.
Oh my God, I got back on. Yay.
Oh,
yay!
Sorry, guys. I don't know what the hell happened. I was actually, Susie, you were talking, and then I got booted, and I had to reset my phone and reset the cache. I don't know what happened, but so I'm back. I missed some stuff though, but
well, Greg just said sorry for the distraction, Susie. What distraction?
Oh, he was messaging, I think, in a group earlier. You have laser focus though, but I don't.
Kim, whatever I did before we went live to make that beeping stop on my computer every time I got a Facebook notification worked.
Oh, good. Yeah, I was in settings in your control panel. That's great. Good.
Yeah. Bye, Diana. Oh, DM. Okay. I haven't even seen it, Greg, so maybe I should see it.
That's okay. I noticed it because my damn ADD. Anything goes off in the background and I'm like a squirrel. Like, squirrel!
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what I missed, but fill me in.
We were just talking about Susie wants to do a live stream going over the restraining order properly.
That would be a great idea.
When I was talking to that reporter yesterday and I was explaining to him who I was and stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, I read your name in the restraining order. And I said, well, yeah, I went to court and I was, he lied about the restraining order. And he goes, well, what did he lie about in the restraining order? I said, all of it, everything, from him saying that we tried to kill him, from him saying that, we harassed him and his supporters. I'm like, nobody really was harassing anybody. Everybody was just stating their opinion and how they felt. I go, but if anything, I was harassed by his supporter because they sent CPS to my house and, said I was mentally unstable because I belonged to a wolf pack. And I said,
your kids were even interviewed, for God's sake.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Asking about the wolf pack. Like, seriously, are you kidding me?
And he goes, well, who reported you to CPS? And I said, it was a woman, Heather Dawn May, that works for him or for free and runs his websites. And he goes, well, why? And I went into all that. I said, me and Shannon Marshall, who was also in the restraining order, we had, communicated with her and she had told us, that all these horrible things about Feldman and the Feld fam and how they harass her and blah, 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 blah. And, then a couple months later, she was saying how we were harassing her and it was absolutely not going on. And I called her out on it and was like, you said these people. And I said, so I posted screenshots because she kept calling me a liar. I go, this woman went, and this speaks volumes too. And it really, I thought yesterday when I was talking to this guy, I'm like, that just sounds like Heather went to the emergency room after I posted those screenshots because she was terrified of how Feldman was going to react to it. That the woman not only went to the emergency room, she videotaped herself, or even she did it live. It wasn't even a tape. She did it live on Twitter to videotape herself going to the emergency room to say that me and Shannon and Judy Haim are, harassing her and da-da-da-da-da-da. Judy's not even on Twitter, woman. She has quit flattering yourself that you even think that Judy knows who you are. I had never even spoken to Judy at that point at all. And it's like, I go, she went to the emergency room hollering because she was so worried about Feldman's reaction to the messages that she wrote. I'm like, that is some cult scary crap. If you truly think about that.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
That
it is really
scary.
Danielle Elizabeth. Okay, so right around the time that Corey and I blocked each other, Danielle also got a message. We both got messages saying, do you care to explain why you're talking to the wolf pack? So she was so worried about it. I had to tell her what to write in response to Corey in order for him not to block her. She was so stressed. She was in tears and everything. And I thought, you know what? You people are all fucked in the head. Heather Donmay is the same person who made claims against Will, the security guard, and Phil, the manager of Corey Feldman, for harassment. So now she went from them harassing her to the wolf pack harassing her. I think she needs to decide which side she's on, because she was worried about playing both sides of the fence, which is what she was doing.
And that's what she had told Shannon and I, that, Will, she sent me screenshots and messages from Will. And, it's mind boggling. And
I can't stand that.
And then she had to do, 4 hours of videos that Feldman made her do, showing all the messages between me, Shannon, and her.
Yes.
And then, she called CPS, and it was all because I posted screenshots of things that she said to us.
Yeah.
On all those messages that I sent to her, I only took one dig at Feldman, and that was because she had told us, oh, well, I pay for both his websites. He's never paid me a dime. His fan mail gets sent here, and then I have to send it to him, and I pay for it. But I had to pay for everything in New York, and, she was bitching to us about him. So one time when a video had popped up of him and I think out for Courtney's birthday or Valentine's Day, and it was paparazzi, and they were waiting for a car, and there was a security guy there, and I had sent the video to Heather, and I'm like, is that Big Will? And she said, no. And I said, oh, okay. And then I was like, oh, I'm surprised he had cash for flowers, because a flower vendor walked up and he handed him cash. And it was like, that's the only thing in all those messages that I sent her where I made a dig at him. And it was because she had stressed so much that he didn't pay for crap and stuff. And, I was like, and you sat there and talked all that shit about the Feld fam and everything. I didn't even talk shit about the Feld fam in those messages.
She had Will blocked. They had each other blocked at one point because she claimed that Will harassed her. And she was upset that Will didn't ask about her mother and this and that. But now they're friends again. And they were together arm in arm in New York when Corey received his award from Child USA. So obviously they worked things out. But again, it comes down to credibility, people. There's a reason why we're mentioning all of this stuff, and it all ties in together.
Yeah.
And from digging that I've done, I found that Will only ended up being friends with Feldman because Will kept paying for stuff like concerts to see Pink Floyd and basketball games. And then
that's how all of the Feld fam came to fruition. That's how all of the Feld fam came to fruition. It's not maybe they've developed a genuine friendship after the fact, but they've all paid. They even had to pay for their tickets to go see him get his award. I think it was like $200 a ticket, and then pay for their accommodation.
Heather had to donate in order for him to follow her back on Twitter, and she pays for his websites.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which she said like, cost about $1,200 a year. So she's paying for his friendship. Same with somebody else. I don't want to mention her name because there hasn't been shit lately. But you know who I'm talking about. Someone who I won't name. But she even paid for his friendship. You know, paying for his concerts, paying for his donations. You know, all of those things. So
yeah, that's what my ex-boyfriend did. Hello.
Well, yeah. But he had a business, he had a bar, he was trying to promote himself. That actually makes sense. Like he was a businessman doing business. That actually makes sense. These people are buying friendship. There's a difference, you know?
Yeah.
And your ex-boyfriend lent him money with the intention of getting it back as a business deal. I'm sure it wasn't a friendship. Here, follow me for 40 grand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference. Which, by the way, Susie, you reached out to his wife. Did she ever contact you back? I meant to ask.
I've never seen the message on Messenger, so I got to call his corporate office. Remind me to do that this week.
Hey, Lisa. I just seen little Miss K111.
Oh, yeah, Lisa. Hey, Lisa.
Sorry, the odd time I look down at the chat and see something, but I haven't been paying attention. I'm trying to keep my focus.
Christina asked something. What she asked? What did she say, Heather? What did she say when she went to the hospital, or what did she say to Shannon and I when she was bitching about Feldman and?
If you want to see footage of Heather at the hospital, let's go and watch The Exorcist.
She sent me, and I never ever even looked at the videos that she sent me. I just forwarded them on to Susie because I felt like it was only fair. You know, they're building a case against Susie, and Susie had no knowledge of it. So whatever content was in those videos to this day, I still do not know.
Oh,
but
I've watched them.
Videos of the messages. Oh, she just sat in front of her computer and videotaped and went through the messages, and she's like reading the messages, and she's like, you know, putting her own tone on it. And then when she's reading hers, she's like, oh, all sweet and innocent. And I had to say this because of this. And the one video is 2.5 hours. Bobby has them downloaded, actually. I wonder if he still has them. And then there was like 2 other ones that were, they were so hard to get through. Somebody asked me like recently, they're like, yo, can you send it to me, see if Bobby still has it? And I said, I barely made it through. Like, and I had to do 20 minutes. I said, and everybody that was in that Twitter group at the time, there was only like 2 other people that made it through it. And
I watched both beginning to end.
Well, once I heard it was the one was 2.5 hours, I clicked on it to see, and I'm like, no way, that's longer than a movie. No way am I sitting here watching it. At that point, by the time I even thought about those videos again, Susie and I were friends, so I had no reason to watch it at that point.
Yeah, the entire video was just her saying that Feldman knew that she was talking to you, and she was just saying what he wanted her to say. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Christina, what she told Shannon and I, and then phone calls, but she bitched about you, Kim, right? And she bitched about Danielle.
Yep.
She bitched about Big Will, his security guard friend dude that said, you know, that he harassed her, that Phil Shapiro, his manager, harassed her. She had told us on the phone how she has to pay for everything and how he, you know, she
used her.
Yeah, she paid to go to New York, and he like barely even made any time for her in New York, and just like that they treated her so bad and took advantage of her. Actually, and this is another thing, I'm like, okay, she did that video, try to act like she was all innocent and trying to get information out of us. She never even like tried to get information out of us, nor would she have. But she actually, after she had that conversation with Shannon and I, she took all the Corey Feldman stuff off her Twitter. And she had even mentioned us too. She's like, I'm removing myself. I want to be involved in the Feldman FeldFam hashtag. I believe she even did that publicly. And you know, she cleared it all out for like a month and a half. And then she started, you know, getting back into it. And that's when she was tweeting that we are harassing her. And I was letting it go. I was seeing it and I was like letting it go. And I actually muted her on Twitter because I was getting so annoyed about it.
Yeah.
And then she had made that song about trolls, which she thought I was all pissed off about the song. And I actually thought the song was hilarious and good and catchy. And I'm like, she's a better singer than Feldman.
Yeah.
But I got her comments underneath it about us harassing her is what freaking annoyed me finally and threw me over the edge. And I was like, Heather, no one's harassing you, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you know, I'm like, just months ago, you were saying that the Feld fam were harassing you. And she was like, I never said that. You're a liar. And it went back and forth. And like 6 times, I was like, Heather, don't call me a liar. You know what you said to me. Don't make me
post it. I remember.
Yeah, I kept saying, don't make me post it because I knew.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, I said it like 6 times because I knew it was going to cause her a shitstorm. And I felt bad. And I didn't want to, but then she kept pushing it and getting shittier and shittier. So I was like, fine, dude, I'm posting up.
And then as soon as Susie posted it, within 12 hours, she's in the hospital having a mental health breakdown, not only having one, but filming it on camera and posting it on Twitter for thousands of people to see because she wanted to make sure that Corey Feldman knew that she was in the hospital. And then when she goes into the hospital, she's like, you remember me? I work for Corey Feldman. And you know that Susie on Twitter, Susie Q.
Judy Haim, Shannon Marshall.
But she was talking to them like this wasn't the first time these people were hearing this stuff. That's the part that I found funny about it.
Yeah. Oh, Stacey, I see what you're saying to Christina. I'm pretty. Heather removed them because they were private on that channel of hers. But you know, you guys had sent me the link, and then when she found out that I had seen it because I had tweeted something about it, she removed it. But yeah, we'll find out if Bobby still has them because he 1,000% downloaded them for me.
Yeah. But again, you know, it's funny how like it depends on which side of the fence she's on that particular day. Because like I said, you know, it was Phil and Will that were the harassers before, and she even told Corey about that too. So now she can try and claim that it was never said, but she even went to Feldman about it. So whatever happened between them, I don't know. But obviously they've worked it out because they now
she did go to Feldman about it because then Will sent her an apology message. I have it. I have the screenshot of it.
Right.
I remember reading it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, she talked shit about Danielle, you, Will, Phil, Corey.
That's what she does. She talks about people behind their back because she doesn't have the guts to say it to anybody one-on-one, straight up. Like, let's do this. You want to have a conversation? Right. Don't talk about me. Talk to me. But she couldn't do that. So what did she do? She changes all of her phone numbers and goes in hiding and goes off Twitter for months, just like her fearless leader, Corey Feldman.
Well, and to be clear, the reason why Shannon and I had reached out to her is because that's when, dude, things were just constantly back and forth between people and the Feld fam and back and forth. And it was crazy then. And Heather had tweeted multiple times, like, if anyone's, you know, crossing the line and, you know, harassing either the Feld fam or the Haim Army, you know, contact me and we're not going to stand for it. So that's why I had reached out to her.
Right. Yeah. Oh, right. That's when the anti-bullying campaign started. Yeah. Right. I forgot about that. And all those videos and all those mysterious channels popped up on YouTube using everyone's content. I remember that.
What was it she also done? She posted, someone called her a bitch on Twitter or something, and she went absolutely haywire and phoned the person's company and got them fired from their job.
And called CPS on them as well and put it on Twitter that she did so. So
yeah, of course, just because she was called a bitch.
Wow. No freaking words for that. None. Not even knowing this person. Just straight up called their job, got them fired, and called CPS on them. I don't understand.
And then
like, if you have a problem with someone, wow. Like, I just, so not my methods, man. Like, I can't even wrap my head around that. Like, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even compute in my brain. I just, if you have a problem with someone and you don't want to talk to that person anymore, block them or don't talk to them. Very simple. There's no need to call their work. There's no need to call CPS. Like, these are things that children do, not grown-ass women. And then come to find out later on in that group with Sammy and Danielle and Gina, that Feldman knew that she had called CPS and said to take whatever means were necessary to get back at you, Susie, for making her life such hell.
And I've still got that screenshot as well.
Yeah. And we've shared it before, and we can share it again if people are interested in seeing it, if you don't believe us, because it was said, it was around the same time that she said it would be fun to make fake sexual assault allegations towards Bobby. That would be Sammy that we're talking about, Sammy Robin, Corey Feldman's publicist. So these are the team of people that he has working for him, and this is the credibility of his team and his people.
So that credible that when there was a whisper, going around that a 16-year-old girl had evidence that things happened allegedly untoward with her and Feldman, Sammy begged us not to tell him.
Yeah. First, she said that she was doing it with Corey's knowledge, getting information, and I could go into further depth, but someone is in the chat that was party to this and I don't want to involve them. But she was gathering as much information as she could for the upcoming documentary. Then, she kind of changed the story and said, after a while that I don't know if he knew. Okay, so here's where it gets shady, because she said he knew about it. He was using this information, taking it to the lawyers. Then it was, don't go to Corey with it. We keep him away from all this stuff. We try to keep him happy. He's more or less a freaking bubble boy, and we got to keep his world happy because, that's just the way he likes to roll. So, I mean, which is it, Sammy? Which one was it? Was he aware of it and he gave you the consent? Or were you just doing this to try and earn points with Corey? And as far as being a publicist, I don't see you doing an awful lot for him in terms of professionally speaking. So there's
After I left that group, I told multiple people that Sammy is not for Corey as much as she makes herself out to be. She's damaging for him.
So I'm sure you guys can tell just by listening that there's a lot of history here. Most of it has been shared. Some of it hasn't. These are the reasons for my hard feelings towards this guy. It's been months and months and months of buildup and keeping quiet and just having all of this information and knowledge. And it's frustrating to me when I see people handing over their hard-earned money, even after the fact that he went on Twitter to say that his life is no longer in danger, and people were still donating to him and he's still accepting these donations. That frustrates me to no end, because to me, you're trying to profit off of abuse.
Exactly.
That's what you're trying to do. And all of these other people that are coming forward, you don't see them trying to make money off it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I said the other day, and I'm not shy to admit it, I actually hate him for everything that he has done.
Like,
there's no line now.
I don't want to say I hate him, but it's very close. It's very close to that. And the reason why I have to say it's very close to that is because I am trying to do something from an objective standpoint. But I have to vent and I have to get these things out. And I don't feel there's any harm in sharing this information, because I'm not saying I hate him, he's an asshole. I'm saying these are the reasons why I no longer support him.
Yeah. Well, I've kept the website impartial, but I can still freely admit that I hate him. He's done way too much.
Yes, you have kept the website impartial. And if you guys are just listening for the first time and don't know about the website, it's www.coreyfeldmanfacts.com. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. I don't know if I think the documentary has been shared on there, or you can check it out on my channel at Kim Rocks. It's there as well. So, or it's on the Corey Feldman Facts page as well on YouTube.
Yeah.
So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. But there's a lot. And like I said, I'm trying to come from an objective standpoint, just simply showing things that he said in his own words, showing his inconsistencies, so people can have the same knowledge, and then make an informed decision. Stop blindly following somebody thinking that he is like this person that deserves to be on a pedestal, because he doesn't.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna have to wrap this up.
Okay.
I have to leave in 10 minutes to go get Dylan. But Lynn said, "Is the doc finished?" Yeah, Lynn's the part 1 is finished and it's on Kim's channel. Is Greg? Are you still listening?
No, he went.
I think he said he had to go.
Oh,
Yeah, he left
okay.
it.
Well, there was a tweet earlier today. I retweeted it of a guy that tweeted if anybody donated to Corey Feldman's campaign and did not get their perk, that he is a lawyer and that the law firm will defend them for free. And
yeah, I've talked to that guy.
Country? Yeah,
wait,
Alfred Hildebrand or whatever. But
Greg,
is that include people that are in a different country?
I'm not sure. Greg, did you talk to the guy? Because I saw your messages that you sent me. Did you actually speak to him?
Because I donated 4 times and I didn't get my perks. That's the reason why initially I was upset. But then it was also in combination with all these other things. But, you know, I'm in Canada. But I would like to be able to talk to this guy as well if it qualifies for people in different countries. And that's part of the problem. And I think that's part of the reason why he's gotten away with it. It's because it's all over the world. This is happening all over the world that people got ripped off. It wasn't just the US, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you said that you could speak to him if you thought you had a problem.
All right.
All right.
Yeah,
well, perfect. Thanks a lot, Susie, for letting us use your channel and talk about this. I had fun.
Okay, well, yeah, Greg did talk to him. So he is saying that anybody who's donated to his campaign should contact him. His name's Alfred Hildebrand. Yeah, Hildebrand.
Right.
If you need the phone number, contact me. We have his phone number. So just putting that out there.
All right. Well, thanks again, Susie. Thanks to everybody for listening. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
and check out the doc.
Yeah, and I'll probably be back on later tonight too. So,
all right.
All right.
Good.
Well,
thanks,
everybody,
see you later.
Love you guys.
Love you. Okay, bye, guys. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
All right, bye.